Everything we've talked about ties in perfectly with my third, final question. You know, I've asked you about the past, present, and now the future. Where do you see yourself going?
I've got so many things that I want to do. I guess initially, in the short term, my goal is to, finish my degree. I finish my degree in 6 months, and I want to. I don't know if I stated it on here, but did I? I'm studying a bachelor degree in counselling anyway. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, sweet.
But so finish my degree. I want to get a job as a relationships counsellor. I've actually found that in my working with people who suffer from addictions is that like 80% of the conversations that I have with them are in regards to relationships. Like relationships is the thing that we struggle with the most, is learning how to have healthy relationships. And a lot of addiction stems from not having healthy relationships. And it's just one of the main things that I think that we all struggle with. We never get taught it. No one educates us about it. Like, no one educates us about it. So we just struggle. So...
Facts. Dude. You just got me going through, like
I see your mind over there,
just like... Memory, dude. I'm just, like, kind of putting myself into that, like... Yeah. And, dude, you're so right. When it really comes down to it, it is relationships, isn't it?
Yeah. One of the greatest things that has happened to me since being on this path is that the relationship between me and my mum has been, wildly restored. We have the best relationship now. We have the deepest chats all the time. Prior to me sort of sorting through my own defects, my own faults, recognizing all the places that I was going wrong, taking accountability for my actions, taking on the responsibility of sorting out my life, we have been able to, and her doing the same thing, like we've been able to talk about what was going wrong, and we've been able to understand each other more deeply, and within that we've been able to give each other what each other needed to feel safe, to feel heard, to feel comfortable in the relationship, in which then we were able to have the conversations that we needed to have in order to sort through all the mess and come back together. Like I was in so much doubt, so much like pain and suffering really when me and my mum's relationship was not good, because I just felt unworthy, I felt unwanted, I felt unloved, I felt all of these things, but so much of that was coming from my own behavior.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that she wanted to send that signal to me, but it was like I was putting her in a difficult spot. Like obviously she loved me, but my behavior was causing her to react in ways that it was what she knew. It was the only way that she could deal with the situation. That was all just on the surface, like reactions to what was really going on at a deeper level. And so being able to restore that, being able to sort it out, it's been really powerful.
Take accountability.
And it's one of the things that I help people with at the rehab, And I've seen the power of people being able to take accountability. Like there's people that I work with who haven't spoken to their mum in 10 years. And now, through what they're learning at the rehab, and through developing their relationship with God and being able to step into forgiveness, being able to step into accountability and responsibility, people who haven't spoken to their mum for 10 years are starting to restore that relationship. Going further than that, obviously God like miraculously has been developing that desire to speak and teach. So yeah, one of the things that I have wanted to do for a while, and just going back to the fact that not many people we're not really taught about relationships and communication and how to deal with conflict and all of that stuff, I would like to maybe go on to host certain events or maybe retreats or whatever. Particularly, I'm passionate about teaching it to the church, because I think that as a body of people who preach and want to walk in love, we need to know how to do relationships well. and we don't. Because it's just a lot deeper than that. You know, it's not as simple as just being like, oh, well, you know, just walk in love, respect your husband. You know, like that's true, but obviously that goes very deep.
Definitely does. Dude, that is awesome, man. And like, what's more important than that though as well? That is such a, just, clearly you're a bloke who knows his purpose, you know? That is a purpose and a half, dude. That's great.
I think the thing that I struggle with is knowing exactly like what to do. I feel like I know my purpose, but then there's
how are you gonna get
picking
there?
a stream, like picking a certain avenue of
Fair.
where to sort of like filter that information is hard, because, you know, like there's a part of me that wants to write as well, you know, like write a book, and I think that I will do that eventually, but part of me knows that that's like down the track.
Yeah, I mean, speaking, dude, that's gonna carry some influence. I mean, great at it. To be fair, I can just envision I'm going through TikTok and I just see a clip and it's just like, it's like one of those Jordan Peterson clips, except it's of Jared.
Dude, that's what I feel like
I
about this podcast, but as well, because this is like, you know, like you're such a good speaker as well. You're such a good interviewer, and you have a lot to offer too. Like, because obviously I'm a bit older than you, but you have so much to offer to the younger crew coming up, and like, but that's the way that I see this pod. You know, like I'm gonna be like scrolling through Instagram, and this is gonna be Zach Jessup, you know, standing up.
Yes.
And you know, you speak really well as well, and the influence that you can have doing this podcast in this type of setting, having these conversations, you know, I already see it as being super powerful and very needed, you know. Do you know what I mean? The statistics at the moment would show that men would rather kill themselves than seek help. Recognize that, oh, I'm not Superman and that I actually need help, like I need support, I need to talk to someone. The ego and the pride that is in men at the moment would literally have them kill themselves. 9 men a day are committing suicide.
Yeah.
You know, for various reasons, but one of those reasons is the fact that it's as like statistics show that men seek help way less. And so I just think that, like, within our own hearts, like we just have this idea. It's just like, nah, you know, like, I'll just sort it out myself. Like, I'm tough. I'm a man. I'm not gonna ask for help.
It sucks as well.
But it just runs to the point where you're gonna off yourself. It's the most prevalent disaster of men that is happening in our society today. It's just that unwillingness to reach out.
Alright, so wrapping up our previous conversation, the camera battery did die. Coming from that conversation of men's mental health, right now it's of recording Movember. So you know, well, you should definitely do it, dude. That is about men's mental health, so
yeah.
Definitely please, you know, speak out. If any one of you have, like, even my number or my socials, chuck me a message, honestly, like, talk about it. To kind of top this off, I'm gonna give ourselves a little bit of a prompt. One last conversation.
Love a good quote.
This is by Mark Twain, and you probably even know this one. Good decisions come from experience. Experience comes from bad decisions.
Sheesh.
That's
that's a good one, man.
What do we think of that?
I think it's true. I think it's true in the fact that we learn from pain. We learn more from pain than we do from we. You know how it is. You know, in life, you learn the most from painful experiences. You know, in a perfect world, maybe like we think that it shouldn't be like that, but you have to think like, well, how else would you know what's good? How else do you know how to make a good decision until you've made a few bad ones?
Just like Mark Twain
you
said.
know, Just like Mark Twain said.
Just like you said. No,
And
it's so real though.
I
100%.
definitely think that that's true in my own life. Like I know I spoke earlier about saying you can learn how to make good decisions by reading about other people's mistakes. We have to let the challenges, the stressful moments, and like the bad decisions and mistakes and all of that, have to be willing to let it shape us. Like it'll only go wrong if we don't.
You don't let it. You do have to let it. Hey.
You have to reflect. Like you have to live a life of sort of self-reflection and evaluation, and be drawing out because there's a lesson in everything.
Yeah.
Like and it's those challenging situations, mistakes that we make that give us the lessons, but we have to seek them out. You know, we have to willingly delve into those experiences and see like, hey, what's this actually teaching me? And I'll like often like over the years I think like, well, you know, like I want to put myself in as many challenging situations as I can, where I'm making mistakes. You know, like we spoke, not stupid dumb mistakes, but where I'm in a situation where I'm pushing myself to the limits, where I'm you know bound to, where I'm not the smartest person in the room.
Yeah.
Where I'm stretching my limits so that I fail. Essentially, so that I can learn and grow, because it's like, all right, you can sit comfortably in the corner of a room for the rest of your life, never experience any negative affect. You're safe, but you're also useless in the corner, not learning anything.
Right.
You know, no good to the world because you haven't done anything, you haven't learnt anything, you don't know what to do. You're just safe in the corner. Now that we're in quotes, I have all these things come into my head. There's another quote about failing. It's like, I don't know who it's by again, but it's something like, success is failing over and over again and never getting tired of it.
Yeah.
Like failure is a precursor to success. Like failure is you can't have success without multiple failings. The only reason I think that we have a negative view about what failure, or like about failing, is that all throughout school we're taught, you know, you need to pass. Like, you need to pass. Like if you don't pass, then you fail, and you're not going to do anything. Like you're going to be a nobody in life. And it's just like, then you get out into the world, and you're like, oh, it's not actually like that. Like it's the complete opposite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, fail as many times as you want. Just keep going.
Yeah, in school they don't give you the opportunity to learn from your failure. You just...
Yeah, and it's just like, you know, that the failure is almost what defines you.
Yeah.
And as like unsuccessful, or not gonna, you know, don't have as many options. So like it's just stupid. Don't listen to what they teach you at school.
Facts.
No, I mean,
unless it's something you want to know.
Yeah.
Unless it's just something you want to learn.
Don't take on that mindset of, you know, like, oh, if I don't pass, then I've failed, and I'm, you know, that means I'm worthless, or that means I've got nothing to offer. It's like, you get out into the world, and it's not like that, you know.
You know what else schools teach you as well? They teach you that like you only have one chance.
Yeah, well, that's why it's our job as like adults, when we sort of move into that place of being our own person and being an adult. It's like it is our job to unlearn all of this stuff. Again, going back to like taking on responsibility and being accountable for our life, like we have to understand that it's like, yes, I've got all of these stories from culture, I've got all these stories and these lies from school, I've got all these stories and lies and stuff that's driving sort of my behavior from my childhood, but I actually have to be the one now that takes control.
Yeah,
be accountable and not let those things be the thing that keeps you stuck, and just be like, play the victim card and be like, oh, well, I can't help it, you know, my childhood, culture, this and that. It's like, yeah, I understand. All of that might be true.
Yeah.
But you, as a person, as an individual, as an adult, have to recognize that you have agency over your life. You have choice. You always have choice to go in and rewrite those stories and pick better ones, more healthy ones, more productive ones that are going to, you know, push you in a better direction.
That's really it. thank you for everyone who has kind of tuned into this this episode and is getting around it. Join in and like kind of tag along for this journey. Learn with us, because throughout this conversation itself, I've learned so many new things, and I'm so grateful to you, Jared, for coming here having this conversation.
I'm so grateful to be here. I love these conversations. Honestly, this is how we like learn and grow. It's together. It's through conversations.
Definitely. In saying that, I am completely open to any suggestions, any ideas. I'm keen, you know. I want to be sort of your voice in a way. I want to be that voice that you can listen to. If there is anything that, you know, you would like me to do, please reach out. Regardless though, thank you, Jared, for joining me.
It's been a good chat.
It's been excellent. Thank you to you guys for joining us on episode 2 of Standing Up. I'm your host, Zach Shessett, and thank you for listening.
Woo! Yeah!